At noon Central Time on Wednesday, a joint session of Congress will begin the official Electoral College vote count, the final step in the election of Joe Biden as America's 46th president.
Congress has an obligation to act to defend the integrity of our elections.
But with Texas Senator Ted Cruz saying he'll lead the charge on the Senate side, and multiple Texans on the House side tweeting their support for a challenge, more than 100 Republican representatives and a dozen Republican senators are expected to object to votes from states where Biden's margin of victory was small. They'll cite unsubstantiated claims of voter fraud, claims that have already been rejected by courts across the country. Outside the White House will be a day-long rally. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton tweeted a video promoting his appearance here and an ad saying all patriots need to be here too. People were already showing up on the streets of D.C. Tuesday night. Everything outside will cause a distraction. The objections inside will cause a delay, but the outcome is inevitable because most in Congress, including Texas Senator John Cornyn, do not support what their colleagues are doing.
Now, these Electoral College votes are counted alphabetically by state, so Alabama first, Wyoming last, and each time Republicans object to a state's votes, it could take a couple of hours for their objections to be heard. So, Chris, it is possible that this process, which is normally pretty quick, could stretch into Thursday.
Oh, hard to believe that. But Teresa, we've heard a lot about what this group of Republican lawmakers plan to do. What, if anything, are the Democrats going to do in response?
Well, tonight, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi sent out a letter to all of the House Democrats saying, remain dignified during this process. In fact, she said that they're going to have a civics lesson on protecting the integrity of our democracy on the House floor when they are sort of giving their rebuttal to these objections that the Republicans are expected to raise.
All right, certainly going to be grand theater tomorrow. Thanks for keeping an eye on it. Thank you, Teresa.